Hello, I'm Christina, and today we're going to take a look at how we're doing in Southeast Texas as far as planting is going and what I'm doing around the garden. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I've been actually really busy. Had a few unfortunate mishaps, but some great successes too. And we're just going to talk about that and some other things that are going on around here and have some fun with that. Alright, so first what we have is this long tray here, and in here we've got different vine plants that can grow, like this is going to be watermelon that's just popping up, and I don't know what this other is because I planted like cantaloupe and squash and cucumber and watermelon and I don't know what's coming up. I know this is watermelon though. This I don't know, and this is part of my unfortunate mishap. I think I almost killed it, but not quite. Whatever it is, it could be squash, zucchini. I have no idea. Okay. But what I've had to do is keep these makeshift greenhouses at night because the temperatures were hitting in the low 50s every single night. So this kind of greenhouse has helped a lot with the plants, but since it's finally getting up to 60 degrees at night, then we're doing all right. What I've got here is learning. See, my garden is more like my science project too. I was given this by the food bank, the celery, and I'm letting it root, which it's doing, you know. And then I found out you can do that with onions too, so I just put that in water and I'm like reviving the roots, and I'll bury that later. And then during the mishap, one of my kale plants survived. All the rest of them died, unfortunately. But this one leaf, it's pretty much sacrificed. The beans, part of the mishap again, but a lot of the leaves still good, and it looks like, you know, we could still grow some beans, but they've got these odd brown spots right here. My morning glories, they struggled. I had to have a greenhouse on top of them too, you know, half a 2-liter bottle. But I think they're going to be all right now. And then I got chia seeds from the food bank. I'm like, what in the world am I going to do about chia seeds? Well, it turns out they're microgreens. Pretty good for you too. So I went ahead and grew them, and you know, it's just some limestone in here. They like grown on rocks, I found out. And I decided with the volcanoes going off, I'm like, wonder what deals with that, you know? And I know it like probably means nothing, but I decided to try growing algae, which I'm successful at. And what I did is I grabbed some cactus lilies and I'm floating them in there, and it just to see, because they do tend to grow in water and they might like this environment. I don't know, they'll either die or they won't. What did die was my tomato plant, so I just put 3 new seeds in there for some bigger plants, and hopefully they'll do much better. The other ones were just going, they're just having too hard of a time with the weather changes and everything. Okay, with my carrots, I've got like 11 of them in here. Trust me, I'm gonna have to transplant them to a bigger thing at some point, but this bad boy all by himself, he's the first one. He's gonna be like the strongest. I grew 2 carrots last year and they were mini. These are gonna be bigger this year, I just know it. We got peppermint and that beautiful, you know, dripping method I got. Now part of the mishap, yes, with my chrysanthemum bushes, some of the leaves, but for the most part it's going to survive, and it's going to have its first bloom real soon. Then we got green onion. Trying to grow basil in there, but so far no success. Trust me, I'm not going to quit. But you know, this is my lab. This is only like my 2nd year growing anything ever in my whole life, because I was black thumb girl, you know, I couldn't grow nothing ever. So maybe I got a little bit, you know, excited, and that's why some of the plant death has happened. But we're going to see what happens with this algae. I think it might be a cute project for me. It's supposed to take CO2 out of the air, and if the cactus keeps growing, I think it will, and if it roots, then it might be kind of a neat ecosystem. It could die, I don't know, but since I like to do research, this is going to be fun for me. It's probably not that attractive to you though. So got microgreens, you know, sage is doing really well. No bird in the birdhouse though, but we do have birds squawking all night in the middle of the night. That's driving me crazy. And then my 2 liters, my backup water for my plants just in case electricity goes out or something, crazy. But these are going back inside because these are really in my indoor growing right now. They'll be buried out here later. And this right here, these are my plants that may or may not make it from the mishap, but this is where the celery and the onion's going to end up probably. Got one leaf of the kale, and this is the other tomato plant. May not make it. It was looking pretty sad earlier. Maybe it'll like it over here more. Alright, well, let's go take a look and see what else is going on around the world, around the coast. Alright, so we got a chance to go outside and see how my plants are doing. And for this time of year, I really shouldn't have to do anything much more than water them, maybe feed them. But this has been a rough year. And I'm in southeast Texas, so the rumors about what's going on with the crops north of us, north of Houston, is all going to be true. I do have a friend that works in the grocery store near me, and he says that he hasn't seen anything strange yet in the grocery stores, not yet. But everything that I'm seeing shows that it's on its way. All right, but I know that I'm not the only one that is just kind of really quietly prepared. I'm always making sure that I've got something for standby, but I really went around and did the checking I needed to do to make sure that everything was stocked the way I like it, right? So that's what's really quietly been going on in a lot of places. And you might be like, okay, well, there's all these volcanoes going off. I know this, I know. And there was even one that went off in underwater near Sweden, right? And you'll see that actually when you're looking at the water, especially near the faults in the oceans, you see those dots on USGS. Those are underwater volcano issues, right? Well, if I decided to report on every single one of those, I would be busy constantly. So that's why I say, okay, this is what's going to happen. And usually what I say is going to go on last for about 3 to 6 months. So the next 3 to 6 months, I'm like, okay, this happened. This is proof of what I said was going to go on. So, you know, I'll just kind of kick back and look for things that are kind of odd, really. And recently, we had one yesterday and a few days before in Texas, two of them, two earthquakes near southeast San Antonio again, and they were in, I live in Texas, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Rung, Texas, or Runge, Texas, and Poth, Texas, 2.7 and a 3.1. Two of those within 3 days. So that is actually pretty odd. Fun news. We had a great white shark pay a visit to the Gulf Coast. It was supposed to have been tagged around the Houston area and showed up in the Florida Panhandle. The shark has 20,000 followers on Twitter. That is really good for a shark, right? So that's what's going on. Everything seems to be continuing to follow a pattern. But volcanic winter, we're seeing repeat weather. And next weekend here in southeast Texas, we're supposed to get another round of rain and thunderstorms. And so that's what we're going to really be seeing a lot of is hail in the central part of America where we grow a lot of our wheat. We'll continue to see those odd hailstorms and lightning. Uh, it's just something that's not going to be very conducive to growing crops. Now, I've been having dreams again lately, like they've just been starting to pick up, and some of them will be about, my family, but there's a couple that y'all might want to know about. Months ago, I had this vision with Jesus, and as I was walking up kind of a hill with him, and I could see that there was at the top of it, it was like white, something white here, and my feet started slipping as I got close. Well, when we got to the top, I saw like this valley of mountains below me, and I started running because I'm scared of heights. The vision ended. I ran, you know. I've always been afraid of heights as long as I could remember. So I didn't know what to really think about that, and I thought, why would Jesus take me all the way to the top of this mountain? You know, I wondered what was up with that, and so finally I was watching YouTube, and for whatever reason, I clicked on this video, and there was this guy checking out Mount St. Helens in Washington. When he got to the top of where Mount St. Helens had blown out, he was at the top of it, he had trouble with his feet slipping. And when he hit the top, there was the view that I had. And so I'm like, okay, that's what Jesus was trying to show me is Mount St. Helens. And then I looked it up, and it showed that Mount St. Helens has been smoking lately. So I know that I ran, and I know that I wouldn't have done any other thing, but he still showed me that mountain for a reason. And then I'd also seen it was a dream, but it was a God dream, and I didn't know what to do with it. And it was this team of people, and they were going to different places like the mall and a kid playground and just different places, and they were killing people, that were shopping. And I didn't know what to think of it, but I had that dream again the night before, and it's been a while. And so basically, I was seeing the team of shooters again, and they were hitting places like the grocery store also, and a clothing department store, not just the mall, and a little kids' school. I mean, I see the kids on a playground, and they're really little, like kindergarten, first grade, maybe more like kindergartens, little kids, But I see them there, and I'm not sure what that means either. But usually things make sense as time goes by for my visions. I'll get the pieces, but I can't have the whole bowl of soup. I don't have the entire tapestry, so I'll just go ahead and give that to you for now. Okay, other than that, we've got a very big month coming up next month for May, because we have this peace deal on the table with the Israelites and the Palestinians, right? We don't know how that's going to go, but we have two factors to consider on this. And one is that he was just successful at this peace thing with North and South Korea. The fact that Kim Jong-un just crossed that border, that's pretty amazing. Okay, so what's going to happen in May? I mean, and the second factor to consider is if the freak weather conditions. I mean, of course, we can sit here and explain the science. I'm not talking about the science. I'm talking about the fact that this weather's the weather that the Bible was talking about. Okay, this is biblical weather, no matter the science of it, right? That right there, when you take the Revelation 12 sign and the blood moons and all these things that have been going on, the eclipse, man, I know something is in the air, and it's more than just a peace deal between South and North Korea. So, and the Bible tells us that this peace deal is going to happen, but we don't know when it's going to happen, but we know that it will happen. And the 70-year anniversary, that's right around the corner. It is 2 weeks from now. Are you ready for that? I mean, whew. I mean, I'm not trying to stress or freak anybody out, because there's a lot of stress already out there. If it wasn't for people like Ice Age Farmer, who deals with crop losses, or Mr. MBB333, who is really doing a great job with strange animal behavior, and it's so vast across the United States that it's like, wow, what is about to happen, right? So, just do what you do. That's all we really can do, is continue to live our lives, but also always in the back of your mind, be preparing emotionally and spiritually for anything, because we live in those kinds of times. And that's what I've been doing here, is just taking a break and getting things that I think need to be done around my house and with my family, and uh, spending time with God. And when it comes to preparing, is staying close to God, because He will lead you in all things, even home. Okay? So God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.